Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to put together a brief PowerPoint presentation that shows some evidence of the skills that we've learned so far in spreadsheets. The first thing we need to do is find the PowerPoint presentation that we're going to fill in. It's on Edmodo. You can download it to your area and save it, and this is where you will first off type your name so that I know who's finished it. So you'll just be able to type your name in here. Okay, and the other thing that we're going to need to do to complete this work is the snipping tool. Now the snipping tool is the little looks like a pair of scissors that lives in the start menu. So if you go to your start menu and under all programs, you should find something called the snipping tool. You might need to look around to just find where that is. Okay, that's what we use to take screenshots to put into the presentation as we go along. The other thing that we need to do is get a blank Excel spreadsheet open, because that's what we're going to do most of the work in. Now I've opened Excel up, and of course you can pause this video at any time just to get caught up. Okay, from my zoomed in spreadsheet, I can now just start to type first a piece of text. I'm just going to type in shopping list. Okay, and straight away I can see that I've gone across both column A and B. And this always seems to confuse people. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we make column A a bit wider. So I'm just going to click and drag. I'll put the cursor in between A and B there and just drag to make it wider. And similarly, I'm going to make the cell bigger by going in between the 1 and 2 here on the left hand side, dragging to make that cell wider. Now that's the first thing that we need to get some evidence of. So I'm going to get my snipping tool up. I'm going to click new, and I'm going to highlight that area of the screen just to show that I've done it. And then I'm going to click edit copy. I could use Control C, the shortcut, and get my PowerPoint presentation up. And the first thing it's asked me to put is the evidence on the second page, which is resizing columns and rows. I'm going to click on the edge of the box there to highlight the whole thing, press Control V to do paste. There we go, added it in, simple. Next, I'm going to do a new snippet in a minute. We'll minimize that. The next skill we're going to have to get some evidence of is, as it says there, merge and center. Okay, so I'm going to highlight cell A1, drag across B, C, and D, and then I'm going to hit merge and center, and it's joined those 4 cells up so that I've got one big cell, and it's put the writing automatically in the middle for me. I could move it around, but on this occasion I do want it in the middle, so that's where I'm going to leave it. And then I'm going to take a snip, highlight that. In fact, what I could do, even better, is highlight it so that I've got the merge and center button in as well, highlighted, so you can see that that's what I've done. Edit, copy, over to my PowerPoint, click on the edge of that box and either Control V or do the paste. So that's our first page completed. I can see that you've been able to resize the cell properly and also perform the merge and center. Okay, the next thing we need to do is, on from our basic formatting, the really basic stuff, is shade some cells and fonts and change border styles. Now, as you can see, I've added some more text in here. You'll need to add the same text in. So if you want to pause it, just pause it to add copy the text down. And then we're going to do the basic formatting us to do now. So I'm just clicking in A1, then I'm dragging down, I'm highlighting those cells, and I'm just changing the background color to light green, and the font color to white. Okay, now that's very simple, just changing the background colors and fonts. So I'm now going to take a snip of that. Snip, highlight that area, over to my PowerPoint. That's that evidence there. And the next thing is we're going to change the border styles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a nice black border that goes around each cell. So I'll highlight them again, and I'm looking for the border tool there. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click all borders. Okay, and I've just added in a black border there. Now, if you want to change the style of the border, that's up to you. So, for example, you could have different types of borders. You can see that's the result we get. As long as you've got the basic border round, that's all we need for our evidence. But if you want to do a bit more, that's up to you. New snip, again, highlight that, copy or Control C. I think you're getting the idea now, and pasting that in. Okay. Next thing is we're going to do formatting the cells as currency. Now, this is something that over the last couple of weeks I've noticed that we're not very familiar with. We're going to come back to that after we've added in some of the data. So, okay, now we've added in some numbers for 4 tins of beans, 1 ketchup, 2 packs of rice, 2 bacon, 4 pizzas, and we've got our prices next to them here. Now, if I need to get all these formatted correctly, I'm going to click in C3, highlight them all, and then just right click, and there it is, Format Cells. I'm going to click Format Cells, and I'm looking for the currency option there in the category where it says Category, Currency, and the pound sign is there on mine already, but you might need to just look through the list to find the right one. There's the pound sign. I want 2 decimal places, and then I click OK. Now these are correctly formatted as currency cells. So that means that any number that we put in there will automatically come up with a pound sign on it. I'm also just going to stick them in the middle, align them in the middle there, just to tidy it up. I'm going to do the same with those. And I'm going to then take a snip. To show that I've now formatted my cells correctly as currency cells. Okay, then moving on next to drag and fill. Okay, we're just going to do this over to the side of what we've done so far, but I just want you to practice being able to go 1, 2, 3, highlighting those cells there, dragging down. You see on the right hand side of where the black cross is in that bottom corner, you can see what number is going to appear and go down. Just go all the way down to 10. Okay. I also want you to try doing the days of the week. Monday, Tuesday. Oh, didn't. There you go. Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. Just do the first 2 and then click and drag. So we've got the right number days of the week there, just to practice that. When we've done it, again, take the snip, highlight it, Control C, and add it into our evidence there. Okay. Probably should do one separate for each one there. Okay, now we move on to what the real point of spreadsheet is, and that is to perform large amounts of calculations for us rather than having to do them by hand. We're going to, of course, use a formula to do this. What we need to do is perform, basically add up our shopping list here. The first thing we've got to do is perform the calculation, 4 tins of beans times 39p, with the answer appearing here. So I click in cell D3, click there, and I'm going to start to write my formula. First button we press, we're going to write a formula, is the equals button. Press equals, and we can now start to type it in. Now the first uh, uh, piece of data that we're going to use is this one here, which is in cell B3. So I'm going to type B3. It then highlights it in blue, so I can say, yep, I've definitely got the right one. And of course, the operation we're going to perform is multiplication, so that is going to be that times that. So we've got B3, and the times or multiplication symbol in Excel is star, which is on number 8 on the keyboard, or just above, or just at the top on your keypad on the right hand side. So Shift 8 or at the top of the keypad. So we've got B3 times, in this case, C3. And this time it's shown up green on mine. I press enter to then complete the formula. Now you notice that this cell has come out with a pound sign automatically. It's picked that up because we've got a pound sign here. So Excel's already decided that this needs to be formatted as a currency cell. The next one down, I could do the same, equals B4, and I'm not going to type it, I'm just going to click there, times C4, press enter. And of course, I could do the same all the way down, but I'm not going to, because it's much easier to do a drag and fill. So I click there, get the black cross in the corner, drag down, and it will automatically do the rest of the calculations for me. If we look inside the cell, we can see that that's gone to B6 times C6 and B7 times C7. Now, this has worked because we've used what's called relative referencing. I'll explain that more later. But we'll just check. I'm just clicking there to make sure those formulas are correct, and they are. Now, on the face of it, there's no way of knowing that I haven't just cheated and I've just not added those up in my head or use a calculator. What we need to be able to do is see the formulas that actually exist in those cells rather than having to look up there in the formula bar. And the way we do that is we go to the formula ribbon up there, formulas, look over on the right hand side, and there's a button there that says show formulas. There's also a keyboard shortcut there, which just popped up, which is control and the grave accent. You can do the keyboard shortcut. You can just ask me and I'll show you what it is. But if I click show formulas, now I can see the formulas that are in those cells. And what I'm going to do, of course, is take a snip. Snip. There. I can see the formulas. I'm going to copy them into my spreadsheet. This time, though, on the formula view side. There we go. So now I can see the formulas. Now, what some of you might have just realised is that I've forgotten to do. So I'm going to turn the formulas back off, because I've forgotten to do the total there. Now, we've done this before. If I press the equals button, the easiest way to add all of those up is to click on sum. So there's the sum function there. It then goes, do you want to add up D3 to D7? I'll just check those are the right ones. Yeah, I do. I want to add up D3 to D7. I click OK, and there's my total. I could write word total down here and align it to the right. I go to the home, align to the right. I might make it bold and underlined, make it clear what that is. And again, if I go to formulas, show formulas, I can take a snip of that. And I can see here, I've got clear evidence that I've used more than one type of formula. I've used a multiplication formula and the sum function. And I can copy that and put it into my PowerPoint. Once that's done, that's completed the first part of the evidence and assessment exercise. Well done.